Welcome to Luxon Photography. We took some pictures with the Canon 6D Mark II, and I thought let's take a look at the JPEG straight from the camera here in Lightroom and take a look at how we can edit them or how good can we edit them. Now, many people criticized the Canon 6D Mark II for its dynamic range. The dynamic range describes the latitude between the darkest and the brightest part in an image. So here, for example, one of the brightest parts is probably here. One of the darkest parts is probably here. So let's take a look when we just increase some settings here. What can we get? Now this is the JPEG. It's not the RAW file, it's the JPEG. And this is how it looks like, and this is how it looks before. On the left, you see the before, which is really dark here. On the right, you see the after. And so I thought, let's just go through some of these images and take a look how they look straight from the camera, mostly, and then how I edited them. And we took now a look only to the JPEG images. Now, the JPEG images have a resolution of 6240 and 4160 pixels, which is when you put one images into Lightroom, into Photoshop, it's about 2.2 meters wide. So I can print this image natively in 2.2 meters width. It's a very great resolution, I think, for printing. So I have never printed something that is larger than me, but all these images are easily printable in that size. Now, I wanted to import not only images that look good, but also some that look really bad, where I purposely said I take images now really dark so I can try to edit them and I will see how good I can edit them. Here, for example, we see that these trees are very, very dark, no detail, no color. And when we then just maybe brighten everything up, this is what we can get out of it. And this is the before, this is the after. Very quickly, just a quick editing. And I think that is really great. If you look at, it's a JPEG file, it's not a RAW file. That from this darkness here, this tree and these leaves, all this you can brighten up and get this image out of it. And I think it's still acceptable. I have edited all these images and we will take a look at them also. But before, I wanted to show you these images straight from the camera in as JPEGs. So let's just do some quick editing here. And I'm really happy with this camera. And these images I took all in Malaga. So let's go through them. And let's also take a look at some darker images or images where I use high ISO. Here I am ISO 6400 f1.2. And when we go into it, now it's not super sharp. I'm at f1.2 and it's movement. We're here in a disco actually, where it's dancing time. But I think the images turn out really nice. There's very low noise. You don't see much noise. And there is no noise reduction applied here. This is noise reduction now applied. This is all off. And I think the images turn out really great at 6400 straight from the camera. And this is 12,800. So this is really high. And it's still really nice from the noise level. I think it's a really nice image that you get straight from the camera. And you can edit these images. The noise will get a little bit more, but I think still on a very good level compared to what I thought. So this is straight from the camera. Here f16. I just wanted to see how sharp it actually can get. And now in a moment, let's take a look at the edited images. Now this is all unedited JPEG straight from the camera. And now let's take a look at the images, how I edited them. Now I don't think these images have to be edited. I can leave them as they are, but I just went through them and edited them in a little bit, very strong, colorful way. Now you might say, I don't like this editing style. That's okay. I just did it this way. There are many ways to edit an image. I just did it last night and I thought, let's just edit some images to see how that is. Now, when I look at this image and the image before it, or how it was before it, I think just the dark areas here and the dark areas here, I think they turn out really nicely here in the image. There is a really great structure here. Now you might say it's a little bit noisy. I think it's totally fine. You see the details, you see the shadows here. I think it's a really nice handling of the black areas. Because when I go into this here and I say undo everything, this is really dark. This is really dark. And there are cameras, when you put this up or brighten it up, it will get really noisy and bad, and the images might lose their colors. Now here again, here are also some areas that are really dark, like the window here or the tree here. There is not much information here, and it's a JPEG file, it's not a RAW file. And then edited, it looks like this, and you see nearly very clear what this actually is. You see the colors. And that I found very interesting, that even the JPEG files, we're not talking RAW editing, we're just talking JPEGs, that you actually can edit them in a really nice way, and you get really great results with it. Now this image, for example, I'm really satisfied with it just as it is. There's no way I would need to shoot this in RAW. I can just shoot it in JPEG and edit it just as I did. Now, some of the most interesting images I think here are these three images. This one and this one actually, because here we are really, really looking at dark versus ultra dark. And I'm really happy with what I could do from the JPEG files. Now, when you go into detail, you see it's not super duper sharp here. You lose some information, but just when I look at it unedited like this, where I see nothing at all here, there's no color, it's black, no detail, and then like this, the same image. I think it's a really, really great handling of the files. Here again, you see it looks a little bit smooth. Now let's take a look at, we have put the sharpness down, and when we undo everything, it looks like this. Edited, it looks like this, and even when you zoom in, you see that it's not so sharp. We can put the sharpness back up. You don't see so much sharpness, and you see a loss of color here and of structure, but compared to how it looked before, where everything is nearly dark unless part of the sky, I think it's a really great way of handling the JPEG files, which really surprised me. When I edited them, I thought I was editing RAW files, but the computer could not open my RAW files because I hadn't updated Lightroom, and sometimes I have internet here, sometimes I don't. And so I started editing the JPEGs, which the program could read, but it could not read the RAW file. So I started editing JPEGs, and I totally forgot that I was editing JPEGs because I could move around with the sliders like with a RAW file. And that is really interesting. And now many people complain about the editing capability of this camera, and I'm curious about looking into editing the RAW files, which I did, but I haven't taken a closer look at the files. So this is now all JPEG, and I think you can get away really well even with JPEG files. Edit them a little bit, maybe 5 seconds, and you can, of course, you can edit them in different ways if you like, maybe black and white, sepia. This is a really nice image, I think. In color, it looks really nice. And I was amazed by what you can get just from the JPEG files without taking any look at the RAW files. We will take a look at the RAW files in another video. I just wanted to show you a little bit about the JPEG capability in Lightroom. I've shown you images straight in the camera, how they look like. And this is now how you can edit them in a personal style, in your own way. Now the computer takes a little bit time to render the images. I'm making the video right now, which also costs the computer some time. And yeah, I think it's always nice to give you some real experiences, some real images. There are many reviews out there where it's just about the technical stuff. How many dials does the camera have? How's the frame rate? What about menu? But there are many reviews that that lack imagery, that don't show many images, that just show images of the camera itself, which I think is actually no help at all, looking at a camera from all perspectives and angles. So I thought, let me give you just some images I took here in Spain over the last 1 or 2 weeks. High ISO 6400, high ISO 12800. Really happy with the result. I could print it very largely, still get away with a nice look, even without the sharpness, without noise reduction. Can put noise reduction on, a little bit sharpness, and you get a really noise-free image, I would say. Just take a look how little noise here is at ISO 12,000. Okay, some more landscape, cityscape stuff. Also really happy with the results here. You could print this very largely. You can sell these images on stock agencies like Adobe Stock. And here also, unedited, it looks like this. Very dark here. Edited, it looks like this. Some more images, and then we're through. Some selfies, which I really like, because you can take pictures of yourself without actually, you don't need anybody to take the pictures. You just do it with a remote control. And you can take images like this easily. The camera will focus on your face, even if you don't look at the camera. The camera has my face in focus at f2.0. And I don't need to be in the center. I can be way off center if I like. And because the live view focuses everywhere, even if you don't look at it, even if you're at the side of the screen. And it's a great way to take pictures with your family, take pictures of yourself. And yeah, now we're at the end of the JPEG editing capabilities of the Canon 6D Mark II. I hope you liked the video, and if you did, take a look at the other videos that we have on our channel. There are many all about photography, nearly all done with the Canon 6D Mark I or now with the Canon 6D Mark II. That's it.